Hello everyone, I am Advocate Meghana Dairevan. I welcome you all to this channel. This channel is all about legal education and spreading legal awareness on various legal topics and latest legal provisions. We are at MSD Legal. We have started the new initiative, Know the Law, and through this series we are trying to discuss lot of legal concepts and laws as such. We have already recorded two videos which are in Marathi. They are available in the channel. Please visit and watch the same. Now, to start with today's topic, as you must have seen, today's topic is all about what is criminal law. Now, lot of craze is been created about the criminal law and criminal justice. We all know in our Bollywood movies, lot of crime and thriller actions are shown. However, the legal background of those crimes or the legal systems needs to be verified and checked. So, according to me, we need to have a sound legal knowledge of local laws which are applicable to us in day-to-day life. So it is easier for us to exercise our legal rights and to implement the laws with the law agencies as well. Let us start with today's topic, criminal legal system. Now, what is criminal law? First of all, the criminal law starts with an offense. Offense means the illegal act or the action which is not approved by the state's law. By state I mean the government's law which is in force. So let us understand what is offense as per the legal terminology. Now we all know Indian Penal Code is a substantive law on criminal side, and it defines the offense in section 2 subsection n of itself, and it defines offense as any act or omission which is made punishable by law, time being in force. Now the definition is very clear, and it is a one-liner definition which clearly states any act or omission which is omitted or which is omitted by a person which is not approved by the state's law and which is outside the scope of the legal framework is punishable as per the procedures of the law. Now it is very important to understand the last words as well, for the time being in force. For example, there were certain practices in earlier times. For example, the practice of sati. Now practice of sati was not illegal that time, and it was a part of the local tradition. However, presently the practice of sati has been abolished, and now any living person getting into the cheetah or getting into the rights of the dead person is illegal and is punishable offense as such. So we should understand the entire element of section 2n, that is the definition of offense, that is any act or omission which is outside the local laws is made punishable, and therefrom the criminal law is set into motion. So when we say there is an offense, there is a person who is doing the offense who is called as an offender, or he is called as an accused in the local terminology, and the entire criminal trial is run in the name of accused versus the state, because it is the state who takes the action against the wrongdoer who is anathema to the social arena as per the legal framework. Now let us understand what is the role of police. Now role of the police is very wide and very fundamental as far as the criminal justice system goes. However, criminal law is not limited and restricted to only Indian Penal Code. There are a lot of other criminal laws which are major laws as well, like NDPS, that is Narcotics, Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act. Then we have MRTP. We also have the Prevention of Corruption Act. So there are a lot of other acts as well which are directly putting person into a criminal liability. Also, we are aware about the revenue laws, that is income tax, service tax, excise, customs. So under these revenue laws also there are criminal liabilities which are already defined, and person can be made liable as per the provisions of those respective law. Because the offences under Indian Penal Code are very popularly known and understood by a lot of people, such as rape, murder, fraud, forgery, kidnapping, which are also exposed in various ways in Indian Bollywood movies and other movies as well. However, the Indian criminal system is not restricted to those offences as well. That is the whole idea of understanding the criminal law in detail. So we must consider that there are other criminal laws which are available as per the Indian system, and the person can be exposed to those criminal liabilities as well. Now let us understand role of police. Police is a investigation agency as far as the routine offences are concerned, or offences which are triable under Indian Penal Code, under Arms Act, or under such other laws. However, apart from police, there are other investigation agencies as well, such as CBI, Enforcement Department, that is ED, which is popularly known as ED, and many such departments. For example, BMC also has their own inspectors. For example, head department, they have health inspector. For factory, they have other inspectors, which are also conducting the raids, which are also conducting the visits, and if at all they see any non-compliance at the respective business places or at respective establishment, the owner or the management of such establishment can be made criminally liable as well. So for those cases, these particular set of officers are also part of investigation agencies as well. However, for today's discussion, we will keep our focus on police system and how the polices are given the powers of investigation of the crime or investigation of the offense. So police is the very basic and the first step of any criminal system. So police is on the basis of the complaint received from other person, or when they themselves see an offense which is occurring, or on the basis of information received from any other person, they can take the action, they can take cognizance in legal terms, and they can arrest the wrongdoer or the offender. Now, this arrest happens as per the section 41 of Code of Criminal Procedure, which is itself a very wide and huge power given to the police, and that is the whole reason why the police has their own style of working, and why the police has the very powerful standing as far as the society is concerned. And we must consider this as a separate video, and which is going to come up in coming episodes as such. So stay tuned to us for the further updates. Now, once the person is arrested, the person can always apply for the bail if the offense is bailable. Now, where the offense is bailable, the court is supposed to release the person on bail. Why? Because it is a provision of the law. So it is mandatory for the courts to release the offender on bail. However, they can put certain conditions on the accused as far as this case is concerned. Now, as far as non-bailable offense is concerned, person can also, that means the accused can also apply to the higher courts as per section 439 of Code of Criminal Procedure. Of course, all these topics are very huge, and it is difficult to cover in single video, because the video will become very large video, and I want to break it down further in a separate video as such. So it is easy and manageable for everybody to understand and seek the knowledge. So in today's video, we are going to basically see what is the procedure and what is the overview of the criminal system. So when person is arrested, we have seen he can ask for the bail. If the offense is bailable, he can ask for the bail, and it is mandatory for the court to give him the bail and to release him on the bail conditions. If the offense is non-bailable, still he can ask for the bail as per the provisions of section 439, and he can always get the bail as court may deem fit. Now there is third category of bail, that is anticipatory bail. Yes, it is already known to you, the anticipatory bail. However, it is bit technical and it is very tricky to get the anticipatory bail from the court. Now, anticipatory bail is always applied in cases where person has an appreciation of arrest. That means he has some indication that some incidents has happened, and which is cognizable offense obviously, and it is that he would be come in question, and the police may come and arrest him anytime during the investigation. So to save his interest, he can always run out to the court, and he can explain to the court that this incident has happened. I have no role in the given incident, and however there is a suspicion that the police may arrest me. So he can always ask for the anticipatory bail, which is in anticipation of arrest, and therefore it is always before arrest. And it is interesting to know, if such bail is rejected, the person is arrested there and there only at the courtroom itself, and of course he has to remain personally present when the anticipatory bail application is presented before the court. So it is always advisable that you should be very sure about your grounds when you are applying for the bail conditions. Now, in case he is allowed the bail, his application is allowed, he is released on bail, and until his bail application is on, the police cannot arrest the accused in those conditions. Now further, this bail application may go on, and however the matter has to get proceed. Whatever is the offence, that has to be investigated. Therefore, the court directs the police officer to investigate the matter, and thereby police officers, they conduct their own investigation. Now let us understand what is the scope of this investigation. The very first thing is the verification of the person. That means it is the physical checking, physical verification of the accused body, accused residence, and all the places where he has gone to and are relevant to the matter. Now there is also panchanama which is done. Now panchanama is various kinds, which is, one is spot panchanama, where the incidents have happened, so that panchanama is done about the location, about the overall condition of the location and all. Then the person where if there is a death case, suppose there is a murder case or the person is injured badly, in that case there is a physical panchanama is also done by the medical doctors or by the respective forensic team. Now, in case of murder, there is inquest panchanama which is done of the dead body. It is about the condition of the body, how the body is positioned, what is the temperature, what could be the possible way of his death, or what could be the possible reasons of his death, what could be the weapon which is used, and the overall situational and circumstantial reports are been collected in this panchanama. Then there is a collection of evidence that happens. We all know there are witnesses which are verified, their statements are taken, and then if there is requirement, there is a forensic investigation that happens. Now the forensic investigation is of various types. It is a large science in itself, which helps the prosecution to collect the evidence and to jot down as to who is the real offender and who is the real guilty person. Now, as far as the records and documentation is concerned, there is a handwriting experts which may give their opinion. Now, if there is any guns and arms ammunitions are used, then the ballistics reports is play very important role, and which may determine exactly which gun is used, which weapon is used, which kind of a bullet is being used, and in what is the modus operandi of overall crime that has happened. So it's in such way there are a lot of investigation that happens at various levels, and the entire investigation is closed by way of charge sheet. And charge sheet is nothing but the collection of all evidences, all the statements of the respective witnesses, who are the list of witnesses, who are the witnesses were verified, and what is the further help that is required from the court. That is, if any certain directions are required as to some documents or some record which is in custody of some person, the police officers may apply to the court about certain directions to be given to such person. So all those things happen in during the investigation, and the gist of this investigation is jotted down in charge sheet, where the right from FIR till the end of the investigation, the entire report is drawn, and the overall what is the incident and how police has arrived at respective conclusions is being given, and finally what are the charges or the offences which can be charged to the offender, that is accused, and that is how the criminal trial begins with the charge sheet. Now at the court, who is the judicial authority as far as the criminal justice system is concerned? In court there are two advocates. One is the public prosecutor, which is appointed by the government so that the offender or the accused is prosecuted and he could be punished if he is found guilty. Now, there is another lawyer who is defense attorney or defense lawyer or criminal lawyer as it is called in India. So, he will be basically representing the accused, and he will try to put forward the defense from the accused side, and of course he will try to save the accused from any punishment or any harsh punishment if the case doesn't go positive as per the accused. So this is the whole gist of criminal system. Now I have put one poster in the opening slide or the header slide, as you must have noticed, which is the poster from the old Hindi movie, which is Aparadhi Kaun. Now, why I have put that poster has a great relevance as far as this topic is concerned. The ultimate motive or ultimate end result of any criminal trial is only to decide who is the real accused and whether he is really guilty or not. At the end of the trial, court has to arrive to the conclusion that accused who is presented before the court is whether he is really guilty and is liable for the criminal punishment as per the charge sheet produced by the police, as per the witnesses which are verified and cross-examined at the time of criminal trial, and also the evidences which are put before the court, whether the liability of the accused comes into light and is very strong, so that he is liable for the punishment. So this is the overall gist of the criminal justice system and the criminal trial, and we must understand that whenever the person is punished and he is put forward into jail, the jail is the final destination as far as the accused is concerned. Of course, there he can always go for appeal, and the criminal trial may again reopen, and it is fought on some other points on the limited scope of the entire trial. However, to conclude today's discussion, I have put the summary slide at the end of this video. Please visit and definitely see that I have given some bullet points and the clear diagram as to how the criminal trial and criminal justice system operates. I hope you must have liked this video, and please come back to us with your suggestions and feedback, and let me know if at all any additional topics you want me to take up. However, I have already recorded 2 videos and many more are to come in coming days. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much. Good night. Jai Hind, Jai Maharashtra. Namaste.